Okay, so welcome everyone. It is September the 16th, 2022, and we're going to review the last information that Ashira put forth. This is the last time that he came in 2014, May the 20th. And then the next time he appeared again for a channeling, I think was 2016. So this is incredible information. We're just going to review it, but first we're going to do the meditation that came with this channeling. And I have it all keyed up here. So I'm going to mute everybody first. There we go. Okay, and away we go.
Okay. So everybody, first of all, begin by giving yourself a great big hug. Put your arms around your shoulders and just love yourself up. Love yourself, not for who you think you should be or who you're going to be, but for the magnificent person, the gentle, tender, strong person, man and woman that you are right now, today. And let go of all those buts. Just give yourself credit and see yourself and feel yourself as your guides and guardian angels. The entire company of heaven sees you. That bright spark of light. Open your crown and anchor in your heart and feel that stream of white light, that most brilliant, blinding white light coming down from the heart of one, down through the great central sun, down through the gold, the lilac and the lavender, down through your brilliant violet of your crown, and filling your head, activating your pineal and your pituitary, your hypothalamus, activating fissures and hemispheres of your brain that have never been activated before. Relax and feel it coming down through your throat, through your center of change, and feel it expand everything as this brilliant white light is moving through you, down through your thymus, your heart, down into your halion, your solar plexus, your umbilical, your sacral, your tummy, your pelvis, your root, down into Gaia. This is like a lightning bolt of sheer energy, and feel it connect with the heart of Gaia. Now pull it up through the feet, through your root, back up through your lower chakras, and into your heart. Feel your heart expanding as you relax deeper and deeper into your chair, your bed, your cushion. Feel as if your heart is becoming a giant Valentine heart. And it's coming up beyond your shoulders. And it's forming that Valentine heart. And the tip of the heart is on the root chakra. And breathe that emerald green. Now dropping anchored, but dropping down from your heart. Come to your Halion chakra, and carry that infinite love and light with you, because, dear hearts, it's truly who you are. It's who you've always been. Do you really think or believe that you would be so welcomed and yearned for by your star brothers and sisters if you were anything less than love? You are a delight. So come to your Halion, base of your rib cage. And this is a blended color. This is your bridge to your star brothers and sisters. So feel that chakra opening, spinning. The colors are mint green and electra blue, ashen blue, French blue, electric neon blue. Feel it opening. Smell the fresh mint that's just beginning to come up in your garden. That fresh new green. That spring green. The spring green of new beginnings, new life. Because that's where we are. As one circle. And this circle includes our star brothers and sisters, our star family. So open that chakra wide. Feel it spinning all the way out of the back, through your spine, and out of your front. Feel that energy begin to form a beautiful spiral of the blues and the mints and the emerald, traveling out of your being. And your energy, your essence, your being is traveling. This is you. Not astral traveling, but bilocating. Come on. Spiral out, up through your ceiling, flying through the air, puffy white clouds, through the blue dome, into infinite space, with a gazillion stars, and the mother's cloak of midnight blue. Breathe it in and feel the freedom. Continuing your spiral, always maintaining the connection to your body, resting back in the chair. And as you're traveling, it's like you've got a homing device within your heart. And you see, amongst the many ships, your home. What you think of as your second home. And for many of us, your first home. Key into it, take a second. Scan the heavens. There you go. So direct yourself and your spiral, traveling directly to the landing portal of your ship. Look, there's someone waiting for you. It's your star mentor. Feel yourself alighting on the landing platform. As your star mentor greets you. Look at the excitement in their eyes. Smile. The warmth of the embrace. And feel your excitement. Your home. Breathe in deeply. Breathe in even before you go through the portal into the ship, because the smell, the scent of deep space is very different than the fragrance of Gaia. Breathe in. And then, with excitement and joy, to see your family and friends, to relax, to simply be. You go with your mentor and friend through the doors and down the hallway to where you choose to go. And when you're ready, either at the end of the show or at the end of the day, when you choose, simply spiral back and anchor firmly in your body, but not right now.
Okay. Well, that meditation took me right out there this time. Okay, and if you have any comments or anything when we're going through the notes, do unmute yourself and just raise your hand, wave your hand. Mhm. Okay, so let's start with the prayer, just to anchor us in here. So, Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, all angels and archangels, ascended masters, beloved saints, enlightened beings, star brothers and sisters, Gaia and the beings around the council fire, council of love, council that serves, our guides and guardians. We are your children and servants. We pray today for the truth, fortitude, love, balance, hope, and joy, that inseparable love and worthiness, forgiveness, compassion, and gratitude for self and our beloved collective, family, friends, and co-workers, for all we intermingle with during the day and everyone, for sacred purpose, for the projects we interact with, for the ploggers, for Saint Germain and the violet flame, knowing the mother and the father, for consensus, democracy, gender equality, for the lifting of humanity into the topaz box, for the Divine Mother's purity and clarity, for blessings and virtues, divine qualities, for tsunami of love, for clear intention, for Sanat Kumara and universal law, peace and harmony on Gaia. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, so this channeling was in May of 2014. And at the beginning, Ashira said, "It is our joy that you are saying to us, have opened the door and said, let us get to know you better. And what kinds of things do you know about that might be of value for us to also know about or comprehend or simply change our perspective in terms of how we look at something." And that is basically what this conversation that we have been having about the universal law entails. You have been and you are being seated with universal law. But what you are also doing is in your awakening, in your very rapid progression, you are saying, well, that is all very well and good. Okay, I've got it. I've got the book. How does it work? How do I put it to work? And Ashira said it is like a nuclear physicist or one of your physicists who build the rocket ships, and they say, okay, now I have a science. Now where are my materials? Let's get busy building this. That is what we are doing together. We are building not the rocket ship, but the bridge, so that you come to us and we come to you. Will we use the ships? Yes. Why would you not use what is so efficient and so readily at hand? That would not be wise, would it? It is the same with the universal law. Why would you not use what is already there and readily at hand? And he says, let us begin by speaking and using the analogy of the rocket scientists about how we as your star family often differ in terms of what we choose to create and how we use universal law. Now we do this and we share this information not to point the way in terms of what we're asking you to create and how you will use universal law, but to broaden the perspective on how universal law is and can be utilized. So I love how he really simplified it for us by just using a couple of the laws and just showing us how they can work. So he goes into that. But first he talks a little bit about the interference that was experienced on Earth, on Gaia, decades ago with what we term dark forces. Those forces were removed about a decade ago. So that would have been, if this channeling was done in 2014, that would have been done in 2004 about. So he's saying, Ashira is saying they were removed, but what this information, that just knowing that they were there, it catalyzed many of our memories of ancient and more intergalactically recent wars we have experienced. So as we know, it's all about letting go here. So even having any kind of fear around galactic, issues, wars, and that kind of thing, it's just knowing that we're here to create a planet that's very safe now. And he says, following that devastation, there was a period where everyone got very busy, interplanetary, intergalaxy cooperation, building, recreating, constructing. An example of what the wars were like in space was what has happened to Palestine, to Syria, Sudan, most recently to the Ukraine. So after they'd gone through their wars, they entered a period of rebuilding. And that's when they began to know of universal law. But like us, we're in the primer stage, they were in the primer stage. So they used it to construct. But he said the tensions, the frictions, the animosities, the injuries of war had not been healed. And there was recognition, as there is on our planet, that if that was not addressed, that all the reconstruction in the world would mean nothing, because the wars would simply occur again and again and again. And he also said, so when they were introduced to the universal laws, that was the nucleus, the beginning of the Intergalactic Council. And there were many peace talks. It was during that time that the language of Pero was developed, which is non-emotional talking, factual talking, so as not to irritate one another, as well as very diligent work on how to mediate and how to communicate. So Karen, there's no accident that you're at this, this Zoom. Karen's a mediator.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so obviously there were thousands of years of evolution. After that was anchored, we re-entered, and it was not that we abandoned construction and reconstruction, but there was a collective knowing that without the issues being addressed and eliminated, and many of those practices are still adhered to both on ship and on planets to this day, because it is not that the galactics have a difference of opinion. They simply have predetermined ways of dealing with conflict. So obviously they have had lots of practice. Yeah, and I guess we're getting to that on Earth. I mean, certain groups will practice this type of communication, but it needs to be more readily available and training and all that, I would imagine, all around the planet. So then the Galactics entered reconstruction, and they built many things, superior advanced technology. We built ships, but also they began to build, we had this expansion of our understanding of universal law, interdimensional physics and science. He's saying we came to have greater respect for what you would think of as blessings and virtues, the divine qualities, and we knew that none of these could be separated. So from my understanding, the blessings are more like the mother energy and the virtues are more the father energy. And then the divine qualities are when they're brought together, and it's the one working with the oneness. But as he says, it cannot be separated. So we have the divine mother and the divine father, and we carry both those energies within us. So the more we understand that oneness within, the faster we come into balance with him. So Ashira goes on, he says, our ships are technological wondrous feats, but they are also organic. And as the crew tends to the ship tends to the crew. The energy of the construct of our ship is in adherence to the law and to the divine qualities. So the sacred space, as you would think of it, is built in, and this is what you are going to do as you begin rebuilding your homes, families, communities, cities of light, institutions, that the qualities, the interdimensional aspects, and the divine laws are all one. And then he goes on to say the things these days, and when I say these days, I'm talking about the last 1,000 years, that we like to create is the expansion of what you often think of as the intangible. So we will use universal law, for example, to expand the quotient of light. And we have done that now coming on to 250 years for the field of Gaia, so that she is a beautiful, bright pink, and we continue to bathe the planet in pink. So that's intangible energies. I mean, sometimes at sunrise and sunset, you can see the glow of the pink around the planet. But really it's pink is the color of grace. It's self-love and self-worth. It's an amazing energy, the pink. It's also the pink in the tri-flame, the middle flame in the heart. So that they've been creating that field for Gaia is amazing. And you can tap into that. Even just breathing pink is a very healing, it has a really healing quality to it. Okay, so then he goes on to say, we worked with the law of sacred purpose because the original intent of Gaia was to be the planet of love. And by invoking the universal law, we created an environment to support what the plan was. So you can see here, I made the globe green here and here pink because they bathed the planet in pink. They created that intangible energy of pink for all of us on the planet, and to help Gaia too, to help stabilize Gaia, I believe. To encourage, to nurture, to bring forth, we invoke the law of change and transmutation, so that the discordant energies, that the illusion that was so strong during the reign of the old third dimension, the distorted third dimension with all the false grids, we invoke the law of change. And of course, we are working in this undertaking hand in hand with Sanat Kumara. And Sanat Kumara is the keeper of universal law. He is our universal logos and planetary logos. And he carries this golden scales of balance. So when you do invoke Sanat Kumara, he will show up in front of you. It is the law if we do invoke a being and the law that they show up. So it's an SK brings his scales of golden scales of balance. Okay, and then Ashira goes on to say, we did not invoke the law of elimination for this project until very recently because you were not ready for it, but we did invoke the law of completion. It was the energy for the planet and everything upon her to make the transition. Many upon our ship will invoke the law of change or intent or unification to work within their family structures so that the unity of the universe and the unity of the family, the connectedness, the love of, say, family unit, there's not that much difference between what we think of as a family unit and you think of as a family unit. So we would work on this so that the quotient of love, of light, and of connectedness, of unity is so strong that the bond cannot be broken. So then he goes on to say, we think and we pay lip service to bonds not being broken, but in fact, humans break bonds all the time, and it is curious to the galactics. Nothing makes them happier than feeling that they're getting closer and closer and closer together. It gives them greater joy. They have a group mind. That is why their telepathic communication is so successful, so powerful. In that unity is also the awe, the wonder, the appreciation, the celebration of each being's uniqueness. They want the uniqueness to remain, and as they become closer, knowing the joy of another's heart and knowing yours, or in moments of trouble, of hesitation, and in this way, they can send their emissaries to Earth because they are not disconnected, so that sense of unification does not disappear. Like they feel a lot better when we understand unity and connectedness and all that for the galactics to be present among us on the planet. So the emissaries know full well, yes, they are on Gaia and they are fully engaged. There is some adjustment, but they are fully engaged and present. They are in the full unity and connectedness to the group, to their family, and to their beloved ones, to their best friends. There is practical application when you're using these laws, what appears to be intangible, building the quotient of willingness to change, of the actual change, the love quotient and the unity quotient, and then the application comes in a physical way. Universal law becomes second nature. We do not want to say subconscious, but if you were to think of a layer between conscious and subconscious, where it just becomes rote, automatic, then that is it. So now I watched this amazing thing with Bruce Lipton today. And he was saying that from about 0 to 7, we are like under hypnosis, and we just take, and it's like I say, like the brain is like a sponge, and we just sponge up the belief systems that are all around us and the behaviors. And he says it's very difficult to change what we've taken on from about 0 to 7. But he says how you can change it is with repetition. And this is exactly what Ashira is saying here too. So that the universal laws become rote, automatic. So it's like repetition of using these laws, they anchor into the brain. And this, I've noticed this with myself. I will be in situations and automatically I'll know exactly what to invoke. And so we want to get it to the point where it's more automatic. And then that actually literally helps balance the physical form so that we come into this place of the relief from all the false grids. They just disappear. So, and he goes on to say, many of you have witnessed your mother baking a cake, and she does it within 5 minutes because she knows all the ingredients. She doesn't think about it. She just throws it all together and pops it in the oven. That is what we are talking about. It's like automatic. We just know, we know the 13 laws, and we know when we're in a certain situation or when we're feeling a certain way, we just invoke. And then the beings that can help us will actually appear right in front of us. And the letting go is so simple. I had a funny thing where today I was supposed to be doing readings, and it takes about 45 minutes to get where I need to go to do the readings. And it was nice weather when I jumped in the car. But on the way there, the heavens opened and the rain came pouring down. And so I got almost all the way there. And then I realized there's no point in being out there today because it's a lot of walking outside between the stores. And I didn't think a lot of people would come. So I just turned around and came right back home again. But in the car ride, oh my gosh, so much happened. Like I was getting taught on the way out there and on the way back, and there was a lot of tears and just letting go. It was like the heavens opened up, and so did I. Like it was just but I was practicing with the universal laws just like that, and it really helped. And it balanced me very quickly. Like there, I felt it, feel to heal, let it go. And then it was like the laws, I started invoking the laws and brought me right back to balance. It was incredible. It can happen really quick now. Okay. And that's us being in that group mind. So he's talking about, Ashira's talking about the group mind now. And he says, we invite you, we are giving you a gold and engraved invitation to join our group mind, because what you do, and as these two begin to, like two clouds merging, as they merge, the telepathy is instantaneous. So the reason I have colored the word instantaneous, the pink and the blue, is that's the color of the Lurion chakra. And that's the law of instantaneous transmission is connected to that chakra. And that's a chakra that's also very connected to our guides. So it's right below the throat. It's the sternum. Okay, so then the evolution of what you have come to experience on Gaia as a friction and dis-ease between kingdoms will come to cease. The role of such things as the parasites have become a very powerful tool to reflect in the physical reality back to human beings that they are out of balance with their environment. So they have in fact performed a diligent service. Now, painful, yes, necessary, not anymore. It is the belief system that there are creatures, whether it is a snake, a scorpion, a mosquito, an airborne parasite or bacteria that can harm you or kill you, begins the germination of the idea, the belief system that you don't live on a safe planet, that you are not safe. When he says, what is going to take place? No, we're not going to get rid, and it would not be our place anyway, but you are not getting rid of all those creatures. They may choose to travel elsewhere, but they would also like to be able to live in harmony so that they no longer have the desire or the belief system that their role. Yes, insects have belief systems, and their beliefs is that part of their job is to do this. They put themselves in a position where they, in fact, are the enemy, and that is a very difficult position to occupy. But by using the divine qualities, the ability to clear addiction to pain or to live in peace or compassion, and then invoking the law of instantaneous transmission or transmutation, if you want it to take a while longer, then what happens is the need for those insects to do harm begins to dissipate. So I can't wait to try that next year with the mosquitoes. Yeah, just invoking, like using divine qualities and then the law of instantaneous transmission. Yeah, okay. So he says we tend to think of, as we have called it, the intangibles in terms of corruption or greed or lust or control, but there are the physical manifestations of that war that has taken place too. Think of things like the Black Plague, Legionnaire's disease, MRSA, HIV, leukemia, cancer. These are all based on beliefs and ideation. So we are just beginning to work, as are the kingdoms, because they have already gone to the higher dimensions. And then he says here that Susie talked about her daughter being bit by a tick. And he says to Susie, you can think of the tick that bit your beloved one as a recalcitrant. And it's really interesting what he says here. Susie says, all right, we'll work on the tick. I don't know where it is anymore, but Ashira says, don't worry about the tick. Simply work on the releasing of the dis-ease. Yeah, so that's again, invoking universal law, using the divine qualities so that the false grids dissolve. And then in that is perfect balance in the body. Okay, and then he went on to talk about relationships. If your heart is saying, I think you can love you, then I think I can love you, then go for it. So there was a question about whether people should involve themselves in relationships, and Ashira was like, yes, go for it. And then Susie asked, what kinds of things would you all like to be invited to participate in? And Ashira said dinner, conversation, walks in the woods, sitting in the garden, sitting in the living room and chatting, meditation, deep meditation, anything that is involving interface, even a smile in the supermarket is huge to us. So yeah, even if you're having dinner, invite them in. And it's really fun to do, actually. And then you can have your imaginary conversation, but just know that there's more to it than that. And he says, if you start issuing the invitations, you may see us very clearly, or you may simply say the house is full, you will know. And it's like, what I hear is like a buzzing sound, like there's a party going on. And I know they are, because on the other side, it's very much community. Okay, and then, Susie asked, are there many of you who plan on having an extended stay on Earth, or most just wanting to go home? And Ashira said, most of us are planning an extended stay on Earth. We want to participate. We have waited, as I have said, thousands of years for this unfoldment. And they'll be back and forth to their ships because they have no intention of not maintaining them. And they are useful because many of us will wish to go exploring in the far reaches. And there's no need to develop for Earthlings to develop their own ships when ours are available. So yes, most of us want to see and have this experience of being on your beautiful planet. And we do not come until that invitation was issued. And he says, by the way, it has been issued. So obviously, as a collective, we issued that invitation to the collectives. And Susie says, I hope you're willing to come back. And Ashira says, I would be honored to return. And he says, my beloved friends, think of the law as your dictionary, as your thesaurus, and use it. And that's a great way to think of the laws. Just keep practicing. And before you know it, they're just so anchored within us. And he says, invite us because we are inviting you to join with us and give you the love, not only from my heart, but from all of our hearts. And Susie says, I feel it and I love you. I'm so glad to be part of this discussion. Thank you. And Ashira says, you are welcome. Farewell, farewell. So what an amazing series that was. And I just want to say thank you so much to Ashira, because I learned so much doing these 9 classes, and it really helped me balance and organize myself. So I'm very grateful that for all this information, because it helps make it more clear, like the journey that we've all been on. And just, I don't know, I feel really honored to be able to do this. So I'm just gonna stop this right now and bring us all back. Where are we here? Right here. There we go. Yeah. So isn't that amazing information, Karen? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, that was really fun to hear that information again, and yeah, remember it and have it go deeper. And yeah, that's really cool.
Simplified it so much. Like I don't know. I think it makes a big difference when you pull it apart too and really look at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing for the last 9 weeks, and they have helped me so much.
I bet. That's a
Yeah,
lot of information that's so dense. So yeah, to pull it apart must be, yeah, this is helpful just to hear one again and have you talk about the laws and everything. It's really good.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions? Does anyone have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I was going through the laws as they relate to the different chakras.
Good.
And I had a question because I noticed that the divine qualities such as compassion
Yes.
is present in each of the different chakras.
Well, the color of compassion is really extraordinary because it's several colors.
Oh,
Yes, so compassion is actually red, so it's in the root chakras, the pubic, the root and the pubic. It rests in those lower ones at the base of the spine. And then
Yeah.
it also spins in the heart, so it's green. And it also spins in the third eye, so it's magenta. And that's very unusual.
Do we have to take it down to that level to understand what's going on? In other words, when you start talking about the divine qualities and how they match up with the chakras, I tend to get a little
Yeah.
like, is this really necessary? Isn't that kind of picky? That's what I'm asking.
The reason I've aligned them with the different chakras is because color is healing. There's
Oh, okay.
sound, there's vibration, there's frequency embedded in the color, and we like the healing chambers. Remember when Ashira talked about, or no, it was Thalia talked about the healing chambers, and it's color that they're beaming at us to balance us,
Oh,
and that's the divine qualities.
so it isn't the compassion or anything. It's the colors that are the divine quality. Oh,
But it's all goes hand in hand. So understanding, and you'll find it gets easier, because when I first started learning it, like I said, it was overwhelming. So it's just a matter of like being present and just allowing the information to come through us. And like he said, we're seeded with this. Like, did you see that at the very beginning? He said, we're seeded with the universal law.
what does that mean?
That's a good question. I think in the higher realms, we all know this. Like, this is kindergarten, what we're learning.
Right.
To what they know. So if we're seeded, we're planting the information. That the information has already been planted, I believe, in our chakras. So if we sit still and meditate, that information is there. I have learned more sitting still and listening than even through the information. Mhm.
Yes, for years you sat still at your desk.
I did, yes, years and years. But I mean, that was my journey, but the meditation is highly recommended. And I always say same chair, same time with a notebook. And then you're jotting down and you can see your progress. Just little notes. It doesn't have to be anything, just a few little notes every day of what you comprehended from the other side. And you'll see that it's almost like a pathway.
I need to do that.
But the reason why it's difficult, it can be difficult to sit still, is because we're still holding on to possible roles that we played in other lifetimes where we feel unforgivable. That is the biggest thing that bars us from meditation, because it's through the church system, through the belief systems, we can view ourselves as saint or sinner. And we all feel like we've done things wrong here, no matter what. It's just, it's in the control and punishment that's come down through the family systems, through the old religious systems. And for us to sit still and be able to face right into that and know in the higher realms, there's no judgment of anything. But it's very difficult for us not to judge ourselves. But that's where we're getting to, where there's absolutely no judgment within. And it's a practice. It's a practice. Yeah.
That's why it's called a practice.
Yes. Yeah. So the repetition of I am love over and over, actually it sinks into that place between the conscious and the unconscious and helps us be that and remember that. Basically is remembering it, because we all are. We all are. There's no, the Divine Mother and the Father, they don't judge anything. Mighty archangels don't. Our guides and guardians, they don't judge us at all. Yeah, and we're coming to remember that and find that flow. Like Steve will often say, it's when you anchor in that feeling of love, there is no judgment in that, and it's just maintaining that flow through the body, because it's a movement of energy through the body. That state of bliss and joy and ecstasy and joy and love, and there's just no judgment in that. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to find that, to hear it sometimes sounds rather fantastical, but I don't know, I guess for me it was always to keep hope. I always have had just that deep hope that things would get better. And just knowing that, I think has been something that's made such a huge difference.
And that's connected to the throat. That's the deep color of blue. That's the mother's hope. And she is definitely seeded that in us. And that's connected to the water. Yeah. And I find when you work with hope and joy is being in the state of gratitude. So then you're balancing the mother and the father energy. That's the blue and the yellow. Joy is yellow. So that, and I think that's why people will do gratitude journals, because they're literally anchoring in joy during the gratitude. And that's quite a standard practice with a lot of spiritual teachers.
It is.
A gratitude journal. And I found, my daughter found an app. So I've been using that app and I'm loving it. Like,
what is it?
It's called Morning, but it's no G. It's an apostrophe. So MRON, morning. Oh, morning.
All right.
Yeah. And I mean, it costs $8, but it's like it comes up on my phone. Have you done your gratitude? So it's morning and evening. And then you can just type it in. Yeah. And you can change, like, it comes with like several questions that you can ask yourself. So I changed the questions to the law of intent, the practices in that. And then I will anchor in the gratitude and intention at the same time for the day, for the evening.
I have to tell you that the twins, the kittens, I have 2 kittens that they were found in my backyard. My dog found them. And for the second time that night, he found them. And they each only have one eye because they were about 8 weeks old and their mother had abandoned them. So their eyes were very bad, but they each lost one. So one of them has a left eye and one of them has a right eye. And ever since I got on the call and shortly thereafter, they have just been ripping and roaring around my room. And they have, a cat tree over there and a box. And they were just like banging in the box. I had to take my blindfold off for a minute and look over there. They were just like, I've never heard them make so much noise with that box before. It was like someone was boxing on it. They've been going in and out of the room, climbing up that thing, and climbing down it, going under the bed and out the door and back in.
That's so funny. And that's so funny because Ashira is connected to cats.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that for a moment. Yes. Oh, well, they're just going nuts. Yeah.
Maybe he's playing with them.
Yeah. Well, this was pretty divinely together because have you ever heard of Grandma Chandra?
Yes.
She's a ninth dimensional being in a human body. And
So are you, by the way. We're all ninth dimensional. You're not allowed to come here unless you're at least ninth dimensional. Oh.
well, I don't remember it. That, that's the thing. I mean, Grandma Chandra is, clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant. She's really mostly out there and very little, I guess, in the body. And it's she has her body is pretty severely handicapped, but she's getting better. She's swimming now and stuff. But anyway, so I was sending her a message today because I've been using her fractals. And this what you were reading from Ashira, it was like I got this download that Grandma Chandra was showing me when you were talking about us being telepathic.
Yeah.
Weren't you talking about that?
Absolutely.
Yes, and today I listened to an interview where Grandma Chandra was her mother Kat was recounting when Grandma Chandra was about 8, and she hadn't spoken, in her life yet. And so what came out was that her mother needed to become telepathic so that Grandma Chandra could talk with her, and talk through her. Yeah. And so Grandma Chandra taught her in her dreams how to be that way. But she sent me that message that she was being telepathic with me, because when you read that, I heard her. It was like she sent me to you and you invited me. And then you're talking about Ashira and everything just together. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of feeling less than. Like, I haven't popped, I don't remember anything. I just know what people have told me about me, but I don't remember it. And it's like all these people like you're doing, your classes and things. And well, I've been getting well. And Grandma Chandra said, once I heal like emotional stuff from this life and past lives and know what I'm going to do. So it's like, yeah, I still don't know.
That's the whole thing. We don't need to be doing anything, just letting stuff go so that we're balancing. That's it. And the Arcturians do that all the time.
But that's not, maybe it's just my ego, but that's not how I want to be doing things. I've done community service my whole life, and I want to get back to doing things with people.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But just give yourself the time to come to balance so that you can. There's a remarkable difference.
I know.
You forget a couple of years
ago. I remember.
Oh my God.
You've been there the whole time. So
yeah, no, it's remarkable. And even 6 months ago, we invited you to this and it wasn't possible. So
yeah,
this is incredible. Now you are doing awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. I think Grandma Chandra is saying that too. Yeah, yeah, you're doing awesome. Just because I couldn't do one of her meditations because I couldn't get to that highest dimension, and that no one's ever told me, no, you can't like meditate with us or help with this or that. It was like, I took it really personal. But her mom said, don't worry, Karen, you just need to, do this, heal through this and whatever. And soon you'll be able to reach that. Mm-hmm. But I felt mortally wounded when I heard that. Really, it's been like having to eke out of me for a few weeks.
Well, we've reached a whole new level too. So once we reach levels, it's like hard to adjust because we're in a new level. So if you feel yourself, I've been feeling it too. Like I've been having to really balance within because we're at a whole new level. Yeah. Yeah. So it takes a bit of adjustment. So to be easy on yourself. What we're doing has never been done before.
I'm kind of like, what's next? Come on.
I know. No, I think we just need to be easy.
Rest. I know.
Yeah, and like at the beginning of the meditation, really anchor in love for self.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give yourself big hugs all the time. And yeah, it's funny that you've got 2 cats because Lillian and Ken have 2 cats too.
I actually have 3, but I have the twins, as I call them. So yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, Karen's got a big, you've still got the big guy?
Yeah, Zor, the big red cat.
Oh yeah, he's massive.
Well, he's actually lost weight, quite a bit of weight. He's pretty svelte now, but he's still a big cat.
Yeah, like he is a big cat.
They're all my animals. I've got 2 dogs and 3 cats. They're all like the same height. It's hilarious. They're all they're close to the same length too. It's funny.
Mhm.
So anyway, I should probably get going, sweetie.
Okay, well, that was really fun. I'm so glad you came in.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Oh my God. All right, Lucky's just the cats.
Okay, well, have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. That's the Chihuahua yelling at the cats. He hates them, unfortunately. All right. Nice to meet you guys. Hope to see you again.
Bye.
I'm glad you're laughing.
Hey, we have 2 cats.
Wild. Okay. Bye for now.
Okay, bye, Karen.
Bye.
Okay, I'll turn off the recording.